Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple Live, the show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And on today's show, we're talking about X-Men 97. The season is over. Episode 10 came and went. We're going to talk about all of it in today's show.
We're also going to talk about Disney Plus Marvel's series talking about Agatha Harkness finally revealed its true title.
And Fantastic Four adds new cast members and so much more coming up on today's show. You guys, thank you all for joining us for this rather unannounced live stream, sort of at the whim, because our schedule got a little messed up this week. We actually meant to go live earlier this week, but nonetheless, we're here and we're so glad you can join us. I also want to let you guys know that we do have this live show that we just started doing kind of available as a VOD on Spotify. So we're podcast now as well, but it has video capability, so you can watch us like there, just kind of like you watch here. It just won't be live, or you can have the option to just go full audio if you want. So up to you.
Yep. So sit on down, grab your coffee, grab your boba, grab your liquid IV with promo code The Movie Couple for 20% off and free shipping. I'm drinking pear today. I think it's the sugar-free pear.
I'm not sure if the sugar-free came in pear.
Oh,
but well, it's pear nonetheless.
It's the pear nonetheless.
Look, they do have some sugar-free options, and we have had some, and we actually have kind of like a grab bag of flavors in our cabinet, so I can see where you get confused because they're just now in like a big. All the things are together. They're not separated by bags anymore. So you guys, we do have a ton of reviews coming up on the channel, so look forward to those. I just put up the Back to Black review last night. The review for Babes will go up today. It's a comedy. It's hilarious. Grab your girlfriends and go watch it.
Yeah, we also went to go see the Blue Angels today.
Yes.
In IMAX, so we'll be talking a little bit about that. And also later on, technically next week, we will be getting our review up for Furiosa.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to talk about that.
The reason we're waiting is because I got to see, we're seeing it separately. So I saw it last week and he's seeing it on Monday. So Monday night is when we get to come home and review it together. And then it will be up probably that night or early Tuesday. Still well before when the movie comes out. So what else is new on the channel? Oh, we have a new trailer reaction for Wicked, starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. Super excited about it. It looks gorgeous.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, all the colors, the vibrant set pieces, everything just looks like it's just gonna pop right off the screen.
Yeah.
That's actually a movie that I might want to see in like a Prime, just simply because in Prime, in AMC Primes, it helps. It gives it like more of a defined color because it has like those more blacker blacks on the screen. And I'm just excited to see just how vibrant that movie can be.
Yeah. And vocally, I think, with both Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande as accomplished artists, I think we've got it covered as far as singing goes. I'm just curious to see if they, sometimes when they adapt a musical to film, they kind of like modify the song a little bit, not much. I think to anyone who's not super familiar with the musical, maybe they wouldn't notice it too much. I feel like maybe they probably did with Mean Girls because they adapted those. And what other musical to movie?
Well, there's been a lot of them.
There's been a lot, yeah.
I mean, there was Chicago.
I just can't think of one right now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Mean Girls and Wicked, of course, are like the newest ones that have come out. But then there's been a lot. What was it? Oh, what was that one about the high school kid that wanted to become a drag queen?
Oh, nope, that's not the one.
They did do Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, but that's not the same.
Not the same thing.
Yeah.
But what is it? They did do the one that that I'm talking about. I can't remember the name of it. Someone will probably remember.
Oh.
And he was British.
Yes, that was great, actually.
It was really good. Yeah.
Jamie, no, I can't remember. Somebody in the chat's gonna know. But in any case, that is what's up on the channel. So before we get into X-Men and all that good stuff, we do want to talk about some news flash. And that includes Fantastic Four adding new cast members to their movie. We know we've got Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, and Eben Moss Barakar. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, I'm messing up his last name. And Joseph Quinn. So super excited just to see, you know, the Fantastic Four movie that we've all kind of been waiting for, and we were hoping to see it at the end of a lot of recent MCU movies, just like a hint of like a cameo of like who they'd cast, but they didn't do any, which I think it's better to sort of reveal it all at once. But they did add a few more names to
just
their...
a few. I mean,
they're growing.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe, they're just adding more and more and more to this movie, which is getting me really excited because they're always adding good talent.
Yes.
So I'm just excited because anytime you add good talent to a production, that just gets me more excited because then you're just like, okay, they're putting quality in here, quality ingredients into this flavor fest of a movie we're going to be getting.
I'm just taking a peep into the chat right now, and I see that MK, always with the answers, thank you so much. Everyone's talking about Jamie is the movie, the musical that we were talking about. Thank you so much. Thank you so much that you're here, so that, you know, we can your knowledge can help us. All right, so for Fantastic Four, they have cast Ralph. I'm gonna totally butcher his last name. Ineson, Ineson, who will be playing Galactus. How do you feel about the reveal of like Galactus?
I'm just happy that they actually have a real actor playing Galactus, and it's not just some blob.
Oh,
because
I see.
In the Rise of the Silver Surfer,
I see.
That's what they had. They just had a big kind of nebulous blob kind of coming for the planet Earth. And I'm just glad that they're getting an actor and also a really good character actor. I mean, he's been in a ton of different things, and he's never one of those actors that you're like, oh, I knew who that is right off the top of my head. I mean, there's probably a lot of people who are amazing at names and faces like that, but it's one of those faces that he just does good work anytime he's on the screen. So I'm excited to see him tackle this role, and also how exactly they're going to tackle it, because Galactus is big enough to eat planets. So I'm curious on whether or not they're actually going to, you know, address that, or how are they actually going to make him big. Well, they did that in Eternals too, with all of the words escaping me.
Celestials?
With all the Celestials. And I'm also wondering if they're going to explain the reason why Galactus is coming to Earth is because Earth now has a nice juicy celestial kind of in the center of it that they have not addressed
in any of the
movies or any of the TV shows since the Eternals came out.
But don't we think that they are... The theory is that it's not even set in like the time that... kind of in the same time as the Eternals timeline, like aren't we thinking it's more period because of the reveal poster?
Yeah, that's right, because it takes place more in like the 60s or 70s.
So they still won't know about that.
That's right.
But do you also think that it's going to be like... Okay, so earlier when I was like, what do you mean not a real actor? And I thought you were poking fun at actors doing their job.
Oh, no.
But
as in, like...
as you explained more, I realized you were talking about like a physical embodiment rather than just...
Oh, a real character.
Yes.
Yeah, they did not have, in Rise of the Silver Surfer, they just had like, a big blob. I think they also kind of did that in Green Lantern, where the main bad guy was just, Parallax was just a huge blob that Green Lantern had to fight. So I'm glad that they're actually getting a real actor to be in there, to hopefully be the face of Galactus, and actually have him be a larger than life character, because they've already shown that they can kind of pull it off in the Eternals with the Celestials. So I'm hoping that they can be able to build a really strong character with Galactus.
All right, a couple of you guys are saying in the chat, Galaxy Geeks, hi guys, says, I think the Fantastic Four movie is in a different multiverse, not just time period.
Oh.
That actually would be really cool to see.
That would make a lot of sense on why they're not here at the moment of, you know, after all of the Marvel movies that we've seen, where have the Fantastic Four been?
Yeah.
Especially if this movie takes place in the past.
Yes.
So curious to see if how they handle this, because right now, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there are so many balls up in the air that Marvel is trying to juggle between the between the Disney Plus shows, between the movies, between the animated films. I mean, animated series like X-Men, which I can't wait to talk about. But I'm really curious on how they're going to handle bringing in an entirely new superhero family that should have been making a pretty big impact on world events since they started. I mean, they're the first, what is it called? The first Marvel family, so to speak. So I'm curious to see how Marvel handles it.
Yeah, and now that the theory, I don't know if it's been confirmed, but if the theory is true that they are in an alternate universe, kind of honing in on that multiverse, that thing that they established a little while ago, that would make sense on why they're having a female Silver Surfer.
Oh, to kind of distinguish it from other. Okay.
So, which in that role they have cast Julia Garner, and they've also cast Paul Walter Hauser from many things, but all I can think of right now is Cobra Kai. And the article here says in an undisclosed role, which some have theorized could be Mole Man or the robot Herbie.
Oh my gosh, if
that
he is
sense.
The Mole Man,
yeah,
that would be really funny.
That would be really funny.
Also the robot, I think, would be really funny too.
John Malkovich has also signed on, so this is rounding out to be quite the cast.
Yeah. I mean, this does seem quite the ensemble.
Yes.
But of course, it is the Fantastic Four. People have been gnawing at the bit to get the Fantastic Four in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it makes sense that they would want to have a really strong ensemble cast.
Yeah. So, I don't know. This gets me more excited about the film. It's got, like, if you look at all the accomplishments that these actors have in their various roles and performances, like, it's solid.
Yeah.
Like, every single person's performance have been really, really good. Thank you for CJL for your super chat. JCL. My reading is off the rails today. CJL writes, Vanessa Kirby has the same last name as Fantastic Four co-creator Jack Kirby. Oh. So she was born for the role. I love Vanessa Kirby. She's really,
she does
really great.
Such a good job.
Yeah. I think the most well-known thing that she's in currently potentially could be the Mission Impossible franchise, and she's excellent in that. But there it goes. That is the super chat that you guys are seeing.
Oh,
thank you so much to CJL for your super chat. So yeah, like, that is kind of funny that her last name is Kirby, and I don't think there's any relation.
JCL.
Good Lord. I quit.
It has been It's
been
week,
a day,
guys.
It's been a lot.
We've been running around like crazy. We wanted to do this live stream on Wednesday, and then things came in on Wednesday, and then we're like, okay, we'll do it Thursday night, and then now we're finally able to, we have a few minutes. We want to sit down and talk with you guys. We love being able to sit down and just geek out with you guys, especially about things like Fantastic Four and the X-Men. But yeah, our brains are a little toasty at the moment.
Yeah, just a little. I feel like because we got to see Blue Angels in IMAX earlier, my brain is scrambled because it's filmed for IMAX, and they literally put you in the cockpit, kind of like how Top Gun does it. But these guys do these crazy, insane flying sequences and stunts, and it's just insane.
There were a few moments in that movie where I was kind of like, whoa, and they were showing you how close those planes get, and it was really intense. I came out of that feeling a little motion sickness.
Oh, really?
A little, not motion sickness, but when you kind of get off of a roller coaster and you're like, that was awesome.
What, you got like
you have
wobbly legs?
You feel like you have wobbly legs, but it was definitely a fun experience.
Yeah. Speaking of the Blue Angels, that is going to be released on Prime Video on May 23rd. So very soon. But it's also available in IMAX for about a week. Mm-hmm. So if you are a fan of IMAX, if you like the Blue Angels,
especially if you are a fan of the Blue Angels, go see this in IMAX. It will blow your mind.
Yeah. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic before we get into X-Men talk. Agatha Harkness. I guess it's kind of a Marvel day for us today. Agatha Harkness, this series that has gone through many iterations of titles, finally have revealed its title. But I think it's really funny that for the longest time, we were just getting a bunch of different titles. I'm trying to pull it up right now because it's not showing on my computer. So I'm going to just pull it up real quick on the phone.
I have a part of me think, I mean, they're trying to pull it off as if they were like, oh, no. We were playing around with the titles on purpose. A part of me feels like that might not be true, that they were literally changing titles because, you know, this production has gone through a lot. So I'm curious on whether or not it really was planned all along. Or if they're like, hey, you know what? Let's see if we can cover this up simply by making it a joke. You know, kind of being in on the joke.
Well, they started with Agatha, House of Harkness, which I liked. But then I remember thinking more upon it. I was like, it's not the best title. It's okay. You know, House of Harkness. Like, okay, this we'll get to see, you know, her past a little bit more, like, in depth. And then they changed it to Agatha, Coven of Chaos, which I actually really liked. And I was like, Coven of Witches, Chaos, okay, I'm into it. And then they changed it to Agatha, Darkhold Diaries, which also works, not as strong in my opinion as like Coven of Chaos. Oh.
Nope, we got another super chat.
All right, thank you, CJ.
JC! No! Wendy's out, ladies and gentlemen. This is now the Dustin Show. But yes, from JCL, Jack Kirby's real last name was Kurtzberg. So, yeah, no relation. Come on back, my love.
I'm not reading super chats for the rest of the day. Dustin can
or
read
at least
them.
Just the names of the super chats. Well, trust me, you're a lot better at it than I am.
All right, back to Agatha, guys. Sorry, quick break. Then the next title. This is where I feel like the real trolling started from Disney, where they're like, "All right, guys, but maybe this was the plan all along." So the last title before the formal reveal was Agatha, the Lying Witch and the Great Wardrobe. I was like, okay, what the heck kind of a title is that?
That's when everyone was like, oh, okay, they're joking. They're joking. I get it. Okay. But part of me thinks they had it, you know, was it House of Harkness?
Yes.
And they're like, no, okay, that's not a good title. Let's change it to this. Oh, no, let's change. You know what? We've changed it 3 times. Let's just joke about it to kind of cover our tracks, and we'll reveal Agatha all along.
I don't know.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know what you guys think in the chat if you're watching us live, and also you can comment if you're watching us later on a VOD, whether it's on Spotify or here. Let us know in the comment section below. I feel like they've known this from the start, and they just threw all the working titles and be like, let's just have our team make up the assets and the logo of this, and we'll reveal like it's a real thing and see how excited people get. And if they're kind of mad about it, we move on to the next one, and then we joke about, haha, it was Agatha all along. So I don't know, but I think whether it was intentional from the beginning or they started to go, oh, well, you better cover our tracks, I think that's so smart. It makes sense. You know, she's been sitting there in Westview, kind of like stirring her little pot, you know, making all of us think like we're crazy or was watching the show. I was like, so it is Agatha. So I really like that. And regardless of what title they end up being, whether it is going to be sticking with Agatha all along or if they're going to change it one more time, they should change it for however many episodes they have. Say like
every single episode they change it to something else.
Are you listening, Disney? I just gave you a really good idea.
That would be funny. But also, something else that's really interesting about Agatha is that she's one of the few characters that actually acknowledged the audience. You know, in WandaVision, she did turn to the camera and give a little wink.
Fourth wall break.
A little fourth wall break. So I'm wondering if they're going to keep that and give Agatha that ability along the lines of Deadpool and She-Hulk, or if they are just going to be like, just kind of play it off and then just move forward. And I'm wondering how much of this movie or this show is going to take place in the past and how much of it's going to take place in the future or in modern time.
Now, the last thing Wanda did to her was make her forget.
Yeah.
Is that how it happened?
But Wanda also got snapped. So that means that spell might have poof.
Did Wanda really get snapped? Is that what?
Yeah, there was a moment where she was sitting there.
Okay.
She got snapped away.
Okay. She also looked like she poofed underneath that building in Doctor Strange.
That too. That could have also been the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on what moment is going to have set Agatha free.
Yeah.
From her little prison.
Or even if like Wanda's spell even did a thing at all. It's not like they weren't both witches.
Oh yeah, she could have faked it.
Yeah, she could have faked it.
Agatha could have faked it.
And I'm not discounting how powerful Wanda is. She obviously is, but at the same time, like Agatha is no joke.
Yeah.
So we will see, and I'm curious to see if the show is going to continue on everybody's tinfoil series, tinfoil theories on
Mephisto.
Yeah.
Maybe actually that would be kind of funny if we find out that Mephisto did have his hands somewhere in WandaVision underneath everything, but we just get revealed right now.
I'm gonna believe nothing from the show. Anything that's happening and be like, this is not real. They're gonna reveal in the next episode. None of it, I don't know. But I'm excited. Catherine Hahn is amazing in the role. I can't wait to see her again. I feel like Emma Caulfield, who was Dottie in the WandaVision show, I think she's like rumored to return somehow too. So we will see. Thank you so much to Anthony for your super chat. It's a little sticker, a little laughing corgi.
Thank you so much.
Or fox. Oh, so cute. Thank you.
Jeff Blue 19. Thank you for bringing that up. WandaVision was after the snap. She would not. The snap would not have affected the spell that she cast on Agatha, but she did die. We think she died in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So that might have caused the spell to end.
Yes. Yeah.
But we won't find out until it airs in 2025.
I think we're going to find out a lot more coming up at Hall H this year at San Diego Comic-Con. It's going to be a huge one. I mean, this is the year that we're getting Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
Which is premiering like I think on the same weekend as Comic-Con in the theaters. And we also have D23 coming up this year. So we'll see what happens, what they reveal, what they give us. I'm excited to find out more about upcoming, Marvel properties. And CEO at Disney already said that they're going to be pulling back on the quantity of their outputs, and they're going to be focusing more on like the quality of each series and or movie that they put out, which I love. Like, yeah, we all want more things all the time, but there's also so many other things out there for us to absorb. Why not, shape your project into a really, really good one and make it like a really solid show or movie, and then put it out, and then it'll be great. So yeah.
And I was wrong. Apparently, to Google, Agatha All Along will air on September 18th, 2024.
This year.
That comes out sooner than I thought.
They're definitely talking about it this year at Hall H.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm really excited about Hall H this year because, for the last 2 years, it's been recovering from COVID.
Yeah.
So the studios have been like, well, we don't have anything new because we kind of told you everything in 2019 before all of our schedules went down the toilet. So they had nothing really new. But now they've restructured, they've had time to reorganize and be able to, get all their ducks in a row. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to be able to present at Hall H this year.
In hindsight, I almost feel like they shouldn't have revealed the timeline of all of that.
Yeah.
In hindsight, nobody knew it was going to turn out this way, right? Everything getting so delayed, not because of just the pandemic, but because of the writer strike and the actor strike, more. There's just like things that you can't predict, things that you can't see coming. So I wonder if like in the future Disney just won't reveal, because they revealed it all the way like up to 2025, I think, or whatever the next phase is. Yeah,
because I mean they took out Avengers Kang Dynasty. Now it's just going to be Avengers Secret War. War. And yeah, I have to admit, Marvel's had a few little twists and turns thrown at them, from actor problems to writer strikes to acting strikes to the COVID, but the COVID. So it makes sense that now is the time to kind of be like, okay, here's the new plan going forward.
What I do hope they have planned coming up is to give us more seasons, even more than they have already greenlit, more seasons of X-Men 97. We're going to talk about that show right now, and that'll be our final topic for today's show. We are wrapped. Season 1 is over.
I want 10 more episodes of season 1.
The story this show is a solid show, and with a runtime of approximately 30, maybe 40 minutes per episode, they really, really crushed it. And I love how they retained the essence of the original animation, but it's updated, it's fresh. The dialogue is still the kind of that like 90 like heh.
Yeah.
But like it feels, I don't know, it doesn't make me feel out of place. Yeah, exactly. I really like how they highlighted all the characters to get us to where we got to at the very end. I do wish that Storm was in it a lot more. I'm really sad that she, had lost her power, had to go get it back, and therefore was kind of missing in action.
Yeah.
And I mean, her soul searching, as I like to call it, her soul searching episode was actually really, really great. I really enjoyed watching that, but I hated that she was missing out on all the action. I love and hate what they did with Gambit.
No.
I love it because it's so meaningful and it's so ballsy. I hate it because he's my favorite X-Men and now he's not here.
Yeah, but here's a theory. Here's a fan theory. Well, not really a fan theory. A tease that they did at the very end of this episode. Since, the end credit scenes and the end of this episode of X-Men was teased a lot about Apocalypse, and he goes back to Geonosia and picks up Gambit's card. So is that a tease on that Apocalypse is going to resurrect Gambit as one of his 4 horsemen?
I think people in the comments of our reaction video have been saying that he's going to be like the Death.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's already been depicted in comic books or not, but yeah, see, I think Roger just said it in the live chat as well. Gambit will be Death in season 2. But I am Sean Banks in the live chat says he will be back, Wendy, but not as how you want him.
No, but here's the thing: will they be able to kind of, if Apocalypse resurrects him and brings him, back into the world of the living, can they turn him back from the evil form that Apocalypse most likely brought him as, and turn him back to his normal self?
Yeah.
Because as you well know, no one stays dead forever in comics. I think every single superhero, every single character in a major either comic, Marvel or DC comic has died and come back at one point. From Superman to Wolverine to you name it. They to Jean Grey.
Jean Grey dies a lot, actually.
Has died a lot.
Yeah.
But, that's the thing, is that these characters are so beloved. So I want to see Gambit again.
Yes.
I don't want to say goodbye to Gambit. So if they find a fun, interesting way to bring him back, I'm kind of all for it.
So Gambit and Apocalypse aside, we can always circle back to Apocalypse. What is your overall feel of the final episode?
Oh, I love it. And honestly, it's kind of exactly how I thought they were going to end the series, is that they will kind of close that storyline with the Sentinels and with, what's his name? The names.
Trask?
No, not
Bastion.
Bastion, thank you. Close that storyline with Bastion and Sinister, but they will open up a new storyline that will go into season 2. Mm-hmm. And this is my theory, is that now we'll kind of get this X-Men and Apocalypse / X-Men through time in season 2, but they're going to start hinting and building with Onslaught. And in season 3, at the very end of season 2, they'll do to Onslaught what they did for Apocalypse in this season, is that they'll set up season 3 with Onslaught. So I'm curious if they're going to do it that way, or they're going to tell half of the season with Apocalypse and half of the season with Onslaught.
I did like that we got sort of a more in-depth conversation with Charles and Magneto, because Charles was kind of like missing through the entire series. So like, you know, the two frenemies really need to have it out, and like taking it place inside Magneto's mind is so X-Men.
Yeah.
It's just what I would expect them to do, and I loved seeing that, and I love the little hints, all the cameos that we got, not just of like, you know, our other like essentially Avengers characters, but we were inside Magneto's mind, and he was saying like, this place looks like this, and the water is cold because of your torment and whatever, and we see that on that, like, was it like not like a lifeboat, but it was like
we're all of Magneto's loved ones. So you had Rogue, and then in the shadows, you had the twins, and you also had Polaris,
who I missed because it was so quick. Like I feel like I blinked in because I was zoned in on Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, that by the time I noticed the fourth figure, the show had already moved on, and I was like, oh my god, who was that? I didn't even get to say anything. So it was an edit that I was trying to figure out. I'm like, is this who I think it is, or is it not? Because she has several different costumes. They're all green.
Yeah.
So, but I like wasn't sure. I was like, could this be another woman? So if you watch the reaction video that we have on YouTube, it'll say everybody's names minus Rogue, because you can clearly see her. But and I wrote Polaris ? Because I wasn't sure. The same thing I did for the Jean Grey and Scott scene when they got Banff to the future, and they saw Rachel Summers. And I don't know. I was not expecting that. That really threw me for a loop. So it wasn't until the show was like completely over, we had turned off the camera, it wasn't really dawning upon me until I was like, oh, that is, like they which should have made sense when we saw young Nate, but whatever.
And what's great is that there's so much material for them to pull from. We can still get what is it? I think, who was it that I saw in the chat? Oh yeah, Richard Gilbert. Thank you so much for commenting in the live chat. Do you think the Age of Apocalypse is coming? I think so. Oh. It would make a lot of sense. I mean, the Age of Apocalypse is a very beloved storyline in X-Men, so it makes sense that that's the next storyline that they would tell in X-Men 97. And being able to move from there. So yeah, X-Men Apocalypse, Onslaught. You still have the House of M. You still have Avengers versus X-Men. You have so much material, beloved material, that people want, that they can pull from for inspiration. So I'm hoping that we just get tons more seasons just covering all of this material that from all the old comics.
Yeah.
But honestly, Age of Apocalypse and House of M are two of the storylines that I really want to see.
Yeah, you guys comment in the live chat or below the video what storylines you would love to see them do for season 2. I'm glad we're definitely getting a season 2, and I feel like I read somewhere that season 3 has also been greenlit. I wouldn't mind if they gave us like a total of 5 seasons, because the original series we had 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah, I think we had 5 seasons.
I mean, so like what's another
5,
right?
A total of 10 seasons
and the
for
show,
X-Men over the course of 30 years.
The show is so well done. I can't sing its praises enough. I love all of these characters, and just it's kind of making me realize also, when I watched the X-Men, the original cartoons, I was so young. I have not fully grasped the idea of like the whole mutant versus human thing. I haven't really grasped like Avengers superheroes, like not as clearly as I know it now. Back then also my English was not fluent at all, so it was more of like me watching the action and just liking what I saw. You know, I liked like how all the ladies, like their costumes, I was like, wow, they look so cool. And I think for a while, in the very beginning, I'm trying to think who was like my favorite X-Men. I think it was Storm for a long time.
Well,
because
that is a good
awesome.
choice. Storm is pretty cool.
Until I think later on, I somewhere made the shift over to Gambit, and sorry Storm, but I never looked back. Gambit's just really, really cool. I think it's when I started playing the video game.
Oh, maybe. But it is really hard to choose like a favorite X-Men because all of them are so well rounded. All of them have such cool stories, and you know, I jumped from like Gambit to Nightcrawler to Wolverine to Rogue. I love. There's very few X-Men characters that I'm like, that I'm just like not interested in. But they do such a good job on telling these stories, especially on how the whole idea of X-Men came around in the first place, is the fact that it is a symbolism for, you know, the civil rights movement. And I love that. When you start with a premise like that, it just gives you so much to build on. It gives you such a good foundation to be able to tell these amazing stories. So a lot of you in the chat are saying Rise of Apocalypse is one of the series that you really want to see. And I know you'll like this because in Rise of Apocalypse, that's where we get introduced to Blink.
Which she's I love great.
Blink. They did such a good job.
They did a good job with her for the live action one too. Yeah, that was not Days of Future Past.
That was Days of Future Past.
That one of the movies I accept.
And it's weird.
In live action form.
There are some X-Men movies that were like, yes! Some X-Men movies that were like, no!
Yeah. What was the one that they had, the weird Deadpool?
Was
that Wolverine Origins or something?
That was Wolverine Origins.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so excited.
And that was the one that they had the Silver Samurai also, no?
No, that was the Wolverine.
Oh my god.
But in Wolverine Origins, that's actually where they introduced a live action Gambit. And I didn't like how they portrayed him.
It was okay. Yeah. But, it was okay.
But
is it just because Gambit's hard to do?
Well, I think it would be hard to do a live action Gambit without turning him into a caricature of his character. You know, to where you just play up, someone who just does like a ridiculous action, a little over the top, and just makes his character a little too big instead of actually trying to live in the character. And if you need some inspiration on that, just watch Nightcrawler's eulogy to Gambit, to where you get, that was just one of those moments to where I'm like, this is how you say goodbye to a character. And I'm like, they do it so well. The way they made him have his, awesome, badass moment and, being the hero, and then giving him this why he was a hero and what made him so amazing. And having Nightcrawler give that eulogy was perfect. I loved that. That is still one of the moments in this series that I think I liked the best. It was just so well done. Even though it ripped out my heart.
Yeah.
It was just so well done.
I think one of the things that we continue to realize that the reason why a lot of the times animated shows work better than live action is just that you can do anything you want in animation. It's easy to I'm not saying it's easy work. I'm just saying you can let your imagination go wild.
Yeah.
But you're putting pencil to paper and you can make anything come to life, whatever you imagine. In live action, sure, with production value and special effects and CGI, there's a lot of things that we can do, but it's not as easily well executed as animation.
Yeah.
I feel like we're seeing that in Avatar: The Last Airbender. I feel like we're rewatching it right now. Like the OG is always going to be better, and we like the live action show too. We think they did a really good job, like especially like costume and sets and everything. They got it so accurate, but there's just things that CGI can't compare to animation.
Yeah, and also same thing with like Star Wars. When they brought characters from like Rebels or from Clone Wars into live action, it's just not as good. It doesn't quite hit as well and as just as good
Yeah.
as we see it in the animation, especially when it comes to some of those lightsaber fights that they did in Clone Wars. Like, especially, what is it called? The season finale, the real season finale of the Clone Wars with Ahsoka Maul. That fight was so good.
Yeah.
There were so many Anakin Ventress fights that were so good. Especially, the one that I really would love to see turned into live action, but I don't know how they would do it, would be Maul, Savage Opress, and Palpatine.
Wow.
And I'm like, because that was just an amazing fight.
I think Ray Park's
Clone
ready.
Wars.
Waiting in the wings. He's like, all right,
let me go.
Give him my double lightsabers back. I got this. So yeah, it's safe to say that we loved the finale for X-Men 97. We can't wait for season 2. Not sure what, I think they finished all the voice recordings not too long ago. And I don't know in the ways of writing how far along they are with season 3. If season 3 is confirmed, just because like the writer strike affected so much that there are so many projects that are like pushed back. Yeah, so like yes, the industry is back in the ways of like promoting movies, and movies are in theaters, and actors are able to go on their press tours and do all that again, but it's still like backlogged because it's not like scripts just magically appeared. The writers were not working on anything during the strikes, so like you can't have a project finished until the writing is done.
And we have seen that AI does not work. It does not work as good as writers.
Yeah. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for joining us for today's conversation about X-Men 97, the finale, about some of the casting news for Fantastic Four, new cast members, the Agatha ever-changing titles. It was all... Watch they change it again when the show comes up. I really think it would be funny if like every like few shows or like change it up.
I think it would be funny if Agatha actually starts like just playing with the title every single time. Like this episode will be called Agatha.
Yeah.
It's all about me.
It's all about Agatha. It's all about me. There is no I in team. Wait, no, that wouldn't work for her.
There is no I in team, but there's an M and an
E. And it's all about me. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Join us next time, sometime next week, for another live stream. And of course, we've got reviews and maybe some trailer reactions coming up. Definitely reviews. And now that X-Men is over, I think we're going to finish our Bad Batch stuff, and then we're going to jump on to finishing up Cobra Kai before the new season come out. So look forward to some of those later on down the line. It's not going to be up on the channel tomorrow or anything, but yeah.
And don't forget to check us out on Spotify.
Yes.
We're putting up a lot of our material up there, so our content up there.
Yes.
So check us out there and give us a rating.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. We will see you in the next one. Bye.